and she cuts through the air very nicely.
Of course, it's not just the leading competitors we're keeping an eye on in today's Kiwi Lager Ironman.
I've been a champion of Italy of windsurfing in '76, and in '82 I crossed the Atlantic Ocean by windsurf in 24 days and 24 nights, having 4 world records, you know. After I've done many cross by kayak, I've done one nice adventure. I was crossing the Indian Ocean from Maldives Island until India, 500 miles in 14 days, living all alone in the kayak, you know. It was very nice.
Well, I guess it's mostly determination. You know, you do your best, you get the right equipment, good training, and then you just put your head down and go. Getting involved was an interesting story. I met Belinda Cordwell at a Waitangi Day function 3 years ago, and then I weighed 106 kilos. I was 16 stone, I was huge, and I smoked and I drank and I ate too much, and I hadn't done any exercise for 8 years, and I met Belinda, and I was amazed at her inner fire, her energy, and so I went home and I thought about that, and I thought about my own life, and then the next morning I got up and decided I'd get fit. So I ran down the road 200 metres and I threw up. I had to walk back home and go to bed for the day. And the next day I tried to do the same thing. The same thing happened. And so I woke up the morning after and thought, this is crazy. I'll give up smoking and drinking.
Well, Prince Sergio, the Italian, unfortunately slept in this morning. He didn't hear the alarm clock go off, so he missed the race. Back to the race itself, Ray Browning, of course, the 2-time winner. Real tragedy for him today, Graham, puncturing 3 times.
Yeah, it looks like he's sitting on the side of the road there, waiting for another 26-inch tyre. That's a gamble he took when he started the race, riding 26-inch tyres.
Meanwhile, the lead's changed. Paulie Kuru, the Finnish guy, grabbing the lead off Ken Glar. What about Kuru's style?
He's very smooth. Looks like he's had a very consistent ride out there. Looks like he's just winding himself down so that when he comes into the transition, he's nice and relaxed and ready to start the run.
He's looking at about a 4-minute 50 cycle. Good going in today's conditions?
That's very good condition, very good time. The conditions today have been very tough out there. The wind's been strong. It's been pretty buffety on and off, but that's a good time for today.
Looks in good shape too, ready to start the marathon run.
Yeah, nice and relaxed.
Kuru had been training in Christchurch for 2 months before this event. Of course, very much a hilly and cycling city. Kenny Glar, second off the bike. The beast from the east, they call him, from a family of 13 all the way from Philadelphia. Looks in good shape as well.
Yeah, he does. He looks like he's in a fighting position running through there to try and get out. I suppose he's used to changing quickly with such a big family.
So Kuru first away, followed by Ken Glar at the start of the 42.2-kilometre run. Chasing the 2 leaders was the first Kiwi, John Hughes, third off the bike. Hughes was being hotly challenged for that place by another of the Kiwis, John Knight, fourth in the race last year when Knight's chain broke, forcing him to withdraw. So Hughes a clear third. Scott Molina, of course, up there early on, has slipped back to 4th place at this stage. Alison Erin Baker looking strong as she comes in off the cycle.
Yes, certainly. It looks like it's a 1-horse race, Stephen. Erin's riding very strongly. It's one of her fortes. Of course, we all know she's a world-class runner as well. There she goes into the transition area.
In fact, Baker opened up a 15-minute lead over Jan Wanklin over the 180-kilometre cycle lead.
Erin's probably one of the most talented athletes that New Zealand has ever produced. She's
not a bad marathon runner either, is she?
No, she's a world-class marathon runner. She's run a 2-hour 36 marathon at Pittsburgh last year. She actually qualified for the Commonwealth Games, but was not selected.
Graham, Jan Wanklin, the Australian, coming in. What sort of shape does she look in?
She's looking a wee bit tired at this stage. Looks like the ride's taken a little bit out of her, but I think she'll come back again.
We'll be back after the break with the marathon leg. Television 3, in association with Kiwi Lager and Air New Zealand, now returns to the Kiwi Lager Ironman in St Heliers. With the swim and the bike behind the competitors, it's the marathon run, 42.2 kilometres. And unlike the Commonwealth Games marathon earlier this year, it's not just along the waterfront. Early on in the race, the competitors have to go uphill towards Pakuranga, turn around, and then they come back for the more scenic part of the course along the waterfront.
Back in the transition area, some very tired triathletes are about to embark on the 42.2k marathon run. With me here today is Matt Brick. Matt was second last year at the Kiwi Lager Ironman, the first New Zealander. And Matt, how does a marathon in an Ironman event compare to a regular flat marathon, the kind that I'm used to?
Well, it's very different, Alison, because the athletes are exhausted before they begin. They have done the bike ride near the best of their ability, and they're starting already exhausted. Their bodies are burning fat, not sugar, like a marathon runner. The sugar ran out about 2 hours into the bike ride, and now they're burning fat and they're already exhausted. It's a matter of keeping up the most efficient pace possible, and thoughts of tactics and changing pace do not exist in this kind of running.
That's great. Thanks very much, Matt. And it's back to you, Stephen.
Well, setting out on this marathon run, the first thing off the bike, of course, is through the transition. You pick up the bag. Matt Brick, what's in that bag?
Well, the runners need to put in their running shoes, and many people will be changing into shorts and singlets. And some people actually put food in that bag, but most of the competitors, once they get on the run, will be using Coca-Cola for their sugar and will stop eating.
What about the humidity out there today, Matt? 26 degrees. How does that compare with last year?
It's very similar to last year, Stephen. It's going to be tough. This run is not the same kind of physical punishment, temperature-wise, that we get in Hawaii.
Certainly plenty of water being taken in by the top contenders here. Now, Matt, if we look at the course itself, 42.2 kilometres, do you pace yourself through the first part or just go at the same clip basically the whole way?
Well, once you get off the bike, the initial feeling is that the athlete's legs just don't want to work. And so the first 1, 2, 3 kilometres are just trying to get into a running rhythm, because it is very difficult after coming off the bike.
Scott Tinley, of course, just going through transition and today, the American.
Well, Scott Tinley's always been strong in the run, Stephen. He's always been a top contender. He's one of the most consistent triathletes in the world, and I believe that we can see a tough performance. There goes Ray Browning.
Had a cycle he'd probably best forget. 3 punctures. I think he had to wait 20 minutes at one stage for assistance. So really, Ray's lost a winning chance this year. What about John Hughes, third, of course, coming off the bike? Matt, do you think John's got a good marathon in him today?
Well, the fastest marathon that John's done before in an Ironman is 3:02, so that means he can run well, but he's never done any of these 2:45 very fast marathons.